China's experimental hypersonic missile program, known as Starry Sky-2 or Xingkong-2, has continued to draw global attention, and by 2026, it has become one of the most fascinating and mysterious developments in the world of advanced weaponry. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles or even conventional hypersonic glide vehicles, the Starry Sky-2 is based on an experimental wave rider, designed something that propels the missile by riding on its own shockwaves. This gives it the potential to reach extreme speeds, incredible maneuverability, and a level of unpredictability that makes interception nearly impossible. In today's video, we break down what this cutting-edge weapon is, why it matters, and what the 2026 developments may mean for the future of military technology. Starry Sky-2 first came to the world's attention when Chinese researchers announced successful tests demonstrating speeds around Mach 6 and the ability to maintain lift and stability using a wave rider structure. What makes this unique is that the missile is not simply propelled forward like traditional rockets. Instead, its aerodynamic shape captures and controls shockwaves generated at hypersonic speeds, using them as an additional source of lift. This allows it to fly flatter, maneuver more aggressively, and remain in the atmosphere longer than other designs. By 2026, improvements in materials, guidance, propulsion, and structural integrity suggest that China is pushing the platform closer to operational capability. Even though the system is still labeled experimental, one of the most remarkable features of Starry Sky-2 is its flight profile. Most ballistic missiles follow a predictable arc, leaving the atmosphere and then re-entering their target zone. Hypersonic glide vehicles, while more unpredictable, still glide along a path that advanced radars can track with difficulty but not impossibility. Wave rider systems like Xingkong-2 push unpredictability to the next level. They can skim the atmosphere at extremely high speeds, change direction erratically, and adjust their altitude without losing stability. This makes them not only incredibly fast, but also extremely difficult to track, let alone intercept. In 2026, reports and analysis suggest that China has been testing the missile's ability to sustain longer-duration hypersonic flight. Early tests lasted a few minutes at Mach 6, but recent upgrades seem to focus on improving the thermal protection systems, allowing the missile to maintain extreme heat loads for longer periods. Hypersonic weapons face temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Celsius, and materials must survive this environment without melting or distorting. The development of new composite materials, high-temperature coatings, and better cooling techniques appears to be a crucial part of the 2026 refinements. Another key development is in the missile's maneuverability. Hypersonic systems are already challenging because of their speed, but Starry Sky-2's wave rider mechanics amplify this even further. New reports indicate China is experimenting with multi-axis control systems that allow sharp turns at high speeds without structural failure. This is not just about making the missile agile, it's about overwhelming missile defense systems. When a weapon can adjust course so rapidly that radars can barely track it, and interceptors cannot calculate a viable interception path, it becomes one of the most threatening offensive technologies in modern warfare. The guidance system on Starry Sky-2 is also believed to have received significant enhancements. Traditional GPS becomes unreliable at hypersonic speeds due to plasma sheathing around the missile. This means China must rely on advanced inertial navigation, sophisticated algorithms, possible satellite links designed for hypersonic re-entry, and maybe even a ISO-ported predictive guidance. In 2026, the integration of machine learning-based flight optimization is rumored to be one of the experimental pathways being explored. This is designed to help the missile constantly calculate air pressure changes, heat loads, and shockwave placement in real time, keeping the weapon stable and accurate. Now, let's talk about its potential role in China's future arsenal. Unlike the DFCF, which is mounted on the DF-17 ballistic missile, Starry Sky-2 remains a research and experimental platform. Its wave rider design suggests that China is exploring a whole new class of hypersonic weapons, possibly for long-range strike missions, anti-ship warfare, or even penetration of heavily defended airspace. Because it is still under development, no one knows exactly what its intended final mission will be, but its ability to sustain high speed, remain maneuverable, and fly flatter than a traditional ballistic missile means it could be adapted for multiple strategic roles. One theory is that the Starry Sky-2 could become the basis for a next-generation strategic strike weapon, capable of reaching speeds between Mach 6 and Mach 10 while maintaining precision. Another possibility is that China could adapt this Wave Rider design for anti-ship roles, giving the People's Liberation Army a tool that can target aircraft carriers or other naval formations with almost no warning time. In either case, the platform could shift the balance of modern warfare if developed into a fully operational system. As of 2026, the biggest question is not whether China can make the missile work, but how fast it can move from experimental testing to limited deployment. Hypersonic weapons are notoriously difficult and expensive to produce. The materials alone require cutting-edge manufacturing, and the aerodynamic modeling requires immense computational resources. But China has shown massive investment in hypersonics over the past decade, and Starry Sky-2 is a clear indication of its desire to lead the world in this domain. In global terms, the development of Starry Sky-2 puts additional pressure on other superpowers like the United States and Russia. The U.S. is still working on several hypersonic programs, many of which have experienced delays. Russia has claimed operational hypersonic capabilities, but their reliability remains debated. China's progress with a Wave Rider system adds a new dimension to the arms race, one that could redefine air defense, strategic deterrence, and long-range warfare. In conclusion, the 2026 developments surrounding the Starry Sky-2 program show that China is not just catching up, but actively pushing the boundaries of hypersonic research. With advances in thermal protection, maneuverability, onboard guidance, and shockwave-driven stability, the missile represents a leap toward future warfare. Whether it becomes a strategic weapon, an anti-ship system, or a testing platform for future designs, the Starry Sky-2 remains one of the most important and closely watched projects in modern military technology.